Well, hello, my fine friends. Hope you're doing good. It's me, Generic Pie, back with another episode of Peepin Tom Bombadil when I peep in other people's games from the Discord server. Um, didn't make a video last week. I did make a video, and then I realized that because I updated the settings in OBS, they did not translate well, and said video had screwed up encoding, so no video last week. But I'm excited to be back with a very interesting sounding game between Columbo, the intrepid detective, and Rompsteel, everyone's favorite Canadian Bob. It's slightly odd to be doing a commentary of one of Romsteel's videos because, like, he's got his own amazing channel and he's a really, really, really good player. So I feel like I'm going to be like, it'll be a slight downgrade on his excellent channel. I recommend checking that out. But obviously, cool to do one of his games nonetheless. Yeah, so this was sent to me by Columbo, and Romp was said that it would be cool if I made a video out of it. So yeah, we've got two tokens going. We got Romp as the shadow, and we have Columbo as the free people. And as starting cards, we have King Bran's Men, a very, very juicy starting card. Bilbo Song, quite the opposite. And then Orcs Multiplying again, also a very, very good starting card. And Lord of the Ring, not bad, not bad, but you want to use it after Gandhi is dead. Ideally. Okay, so what do we get for the starting roll? We get, so Romp goes with 0 eyes, 2 eyes added. Ooh, that is not a good roll. That is a very tricky roll. Not a single muster. Characters rather than armies. The Palantir can play Orcs Multiplying again, but yeah, bad roll. Very nice roll for the free people, on the other hand. Very nice roll for the free people. Is there a world in which we get an Aragorn this game? Maybe. Let's see. So standard army moves, goes to Gorgoroth. Token is used to cycle into Gwaihir. Interesting use of the token there. Do you need to draw a card here when King Bran's is such a superb starting card to play with Gandhi still in the Fellowship? But, you know, why not? Army moves to Minas Morgul, indicating that we could have an attack on Gondor this game. Maybe that's because Romp knows it's going to be slow, so getting up this army all the way up to Woodland Realm might take too long, rather than, you know, better to just focus on a target that's actually close at home. Gwaihir is played. Okay, so maybe Columbo was literally fishing for a card such as Gwaihir so that you could do an efficient move such as this to crown Aragorn. So that's really cool, actually. Did not consider that. So I guess with the looming attack on Gondor, maybe thinking about a safer place to crown would be Dol Amroth as opposed to Minas Tirith. But yeah, so if that was the plan, which I think it was, that was an excellent draw for Columbo. I guess there's quite a few cards in the deck that do allow, in the character deck that would allow this kind of thing. Orcs Multiplying again is played, standard. Bobbit goes to Tower Hills, and Strider heads south. We move from Gundabad to Eagle's Eyrie. And what was the second move? Okay, and Dol Guldur with the Orcs Multiplying again. Yeah, perfect opportunity to send this army north. Presumably, oh yeah, you can't even get into Old Forest Road without going to war. That's annoying. Strider heads to Dol Amroth, and with the final character die, this army heads to North Ithilien. Then we crown the king and go on to turn number 2. The Last Battle and House of the Stewards are drawn by the free people. And Black Captain and Fighting Uruk-hai. 0 eyes added, and this time 1 is rolled. So yeah, that was 1 benefit. But still no musters! What the hell is going on? This is insane. No musters. I mean, all I can say is that by the time they attack, all of Romsteel's armies are going to be in position because there's not much else they can do but get into position. How frustrating is that? Very frustrating. And meanwhile, I mean, not much military stuff's going to be happening with the free people because they are going to be running like fun, charging towards Mordor. Bruh. Yeah, so Romp goes and vents, as he is wont to do. Yeah, I do not blame him in the slightest in this instance. That is a very, very ventable situation. And the free people move. Well, let's see how the Fellowship goes. Okay, so maybe this is where things change, because hitting and fitting at 6 on a single die is very lucky. And Romp does have a reputation for venting and then being very lucky. So that is... although he only draws a 1 tile, so that's not so lucky. Okay, so what's going on here? Nern has moved to Gorgoroth. Okay, so yeah, maximizing the armies within Mordor, especially when you've got so many army moves. Yeah, this kind of move is makes a lot more sense than it would in a typical game where you're rushing. Joins up in Gorgoroth, and the South Rons head to West Rondor. The Fellowship moves again. What are we going to get on turn 2? Another 6! Rolling hot, baby! We're going to get a 3 to kill the Gandyman. A 0 reveal, so that's a very nice. That's very nice. You're using up the free people's dice. You are not allowing them to kill the wizard to get not having said that, what am I talking about? There's no minions anywhere near coming on the board, so even if you roll a will next turn, you're not going to get Gandalf the White regardless. So yeah, I think in this instance, it's fine to protect the Fellowship, and also going the North Pass makes a lot more sense as well, because you've effectively removed 4 HP from the Fellowship by removing Strider and the Hobbit. Right, Lord of the Ring is played. Ooh, okay. So I think usually in a typical game you don't really want to use this too much when Gandalf is in the Fellowship. But I think in this instance, killing Gandalf with the card is actually amazing, because it would just be super efficient, just hurting the Fellowship as much as you can. Either way, it was Boromir, which is even better. Fellowship hides. Yeah, so Romp is creating a classic Nazgul train. Good stuff. Yeah, when you got that many. And this is really annoying, actually, because there was definitely a world where you could get this army in here before they could do this play. But, okay, it's not a big deal. And protecting Erebor with the Iron Hills play. Okay, joining up armies in West Rondor and in Minas Morgul. The king runs away to Druidlu. Just like in the book. And Gandalf sprints to Dol Amroth and then runs away to the wilderness. You know, you do you, Aragorn. Okay, so as said previously, Mordor is very surrounded. This is a bit like the books, when there's just these huge armies descending on Gondor from all sides, just marching towards them. All right, and with the tokens, so using the tokens early, but I think that's a good use of a token, because you do want to get Gondor. You want to be able to do at least one muster with these gigantic armies descending upon you. Not give up cheap Gondor. All right, wizard stuff. That's good when you're trying to protect the Fellowship. Very nice. Círdan ships, if you can get the elves to war before Gondor is dead, could be good. Meanwhile, what does Romp get? Corsairs, woof. Might have to move this army backwards. And Wormtongue. Or maybe you just use it as a... You could even just use it as a Deadly Strife in this situation, depending on how the dice turn out. Hurrah! Okay, this is like the polar opposite of last turn. We have musters, but little in the way of army moves, so not much militarily is going to be happening. So it's going to be interesting to see how... So, oh my good god, that is a lot of wills. Crazy dice this game, crazy dice. So, what do you do here? Do you go just try and get a cheap minion? No, you don't, because then they would give them Gandalf the White. So presumably, are we going to... see, this is the thing. I don't think I would have used that token as the free people, because now Gromp, if he wants to, can get a minion. With the token, you could have changed the turn order to mean that the shadow has to choose between giving you a minion and getting their own minion. So it's kind of basically Romp is presumably going to get the Witch King this round, and if Columbo had held on to that token, that could have been a much harder decision for Romp. It would have made it, you know, yeah, especially with all the wills, you're almost certainly going to kill Gandalf this round. Although maybe not. maybe not. Maybe you just play Wizard Staff and you don't kill Gandalf this round because you want to protect the Fellowship, and that's not a consideration at all, and I've wasted 1 minute of your time by talking about it. Draws into Candles of Corpses, moves, gets hit, uses Wizard Staff. Okay, nice. Yeah, I suppose in this situation, I'm kind of thinking it a little bit too much in the terms of a normal game where getting Gandalf is such a priority, less of a requirement in a kind of Aragorn game. Goes for Sauron, as I thought would be the case. Makes a lot more sense. King Bran's is played just in time. Cycles into Thranduil's Archers. Woof. Osgiliath from South Ithilien. That will obviously allow the Witch King. Gets a hit, 2 hits, nice, and no hits back. So good work by this eliteless army. And naturally, a musterage takes place in Minas Tirith. Gonna presumably allow another early muster. Oh no, because now you can play Black Captains to put this under siege. Get the Witch King, play the Black Captains. I guess that's what Romp might do. No, okay, because I suppose Minas Tirith is about as mustered as you'd expect it to be. Okay, double musters. And goes for Old Forest Road. Okay. So going for the Dew line rather than worrying about Minas Tirith right now. Like, yeah, this is fully mustered. It's not going to get much more mustered, and this is, depending on the rolls, likely to get heavily mustered. Anyway. Do we have any good cards here? We don't have a Scouts, and we don't have a Swarm of Bats, so we get a Foul Stench, which gives this a small chance of surviving. It does not survive. And, no, what am I talking about? Just cycling cards there. That's what's going on. And we go on to turn number 4. So another end card is drawn, as is Fear Far Foes. And meanwhile, Romp gets the King is revealed. On they went. All right, so Relentless could be useful. Red tile's always handy. Fellowship reveals itself into the next carriage of the Nazgul train in Goblin's Gate. And we get 2 eyes rolled. Lots of Palantirs. Romp must be pretty high on Palantirs, I feel. 2 up on Ps, 2 up on characters. Okay. And 2 down on musters. Yeah, that scans. Yeah, I'm very glad I went with Sauron and Sun instead of Saruman. Yeah, because without not a single muster this turn as well, yeah, that would have been a very, very inopportune roll. Okay, so I thought this might be mustered to the brim, but trying to give it every possible chance of survival. Personally, I might have lent towards double leadership mustering, but that's just me. Because that extra 1 HP is kind of you're using a mustard to get 1 HP, and using a precious elite. But hey, it's fine. On they went, goes into the pool. Reinforcements can take over Carrick, and takes over Lossnack as well. The Fellowship moves. They are not hit. First safe move. That is true. So the Fellowship hasn't had the nicest ride so far. I think the Free People are still probably favoured in this situation. But I say that, they are surrounded. So maybe, and the Fellowship has not got far at all. So maybe I take that back. Maybe I favour the Shadow in this situation. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, even though Romp has had that awfully slow start in terms of actually getting anything under siege, these armies are all raring to go. And it won't take long for them to have, multiple strongholds smothered. Thranduil's Archers played. Lovely draw for Columbo last turn. And draws into a Power 2 Great, which could be very useful later, potentially. Although it doesn't look like a game where the Elven strongholds are going to be targeted, So maybe this will actually get used for a no quarter. Either that or you hold it on as a kind of ace up your sleeve. Yeah, Romp says boo. Goes for Dale. Yeah, because otherwise you could get in a very nasty situation where the free people can start mustering um, in here, and you really, really, really don't want that to happen. So Romp is not taking any prisoners. Still don't have that scouts, so let's see what we get in terms of cards played. It's dangerous to play. You can't really play a powerful card in here because of the potential for scouts. So it's probably like a card cycling situation, maybe cycling character cards. No, Romp's just going for the kill. Goes for Relentless Assault, okay. I think since Old Forest Road was attacked this turn, you can maybe you just assume that there isn't a scouts in hand anyway, so maybe you just think it's fine. So Relentless against Shield Wall. No hits, so yeah, basically just card cycling here. Gets one hit back for Columbo. So Columbo's not running brilliantly in combat so far, in the limited combat we've had. They skulk away to Old Forest Road, which blocks the, well, you can just go to whatever this place is, Western Mirkwood, to move this army into place. But also can be sneaky, can threaten a Dol Guldur take. The free people can guarantee a Dol Guldur take, actually, because Orcs Multiple again has been played. There's cards out there like Pits of Mordor that the Shadow could have, but is that the only card I think that could muster in Dol Guldur in this situation now in the deck? Maybe so. Yeah, cycles into the Shadow's moving. Yeah, so he's going for the easy. Oh, hello. What do we have here then? This is an interesting one. So you could actually. Yeah, I was going to say you could use a ring to take this and then take this, but then Romp would probably use the ring straight back at you to muster in Gundabad, so that doesn't actually work out too nicely. But guaranteed one stronghold and forcing Romp to muster in Gundabad in future. So yeah, interesting stuff. So Romp cycling cards, cycles into Olog High. Okay, so decides to move the Fellowship. Maybe hoping to do this move next turn with the hybrid, perhaps. That might be a better play, because obviously free people moves first. So that's actually quite clever. I would have been so tempted. I would have been just like unable to say no to the character die move into Dol Guldur. But if you do roll a hybrid next turn, and moving the Fellowship, Captain Obvious over here. Moving Fellowship, important. So yeah. Does hit an eye, though. One reveal. And the Bobbits head to Rosgobel. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Morgul Wound is played. Very nice, very nice. And getting maximum value for it, taken from 2 up to 4. And we go on to turn number 5. Free people draw File and Riders of Theoden. And Shadow draws... Wait. Shadow hasn't drawn a card. Okay, so I'm like 99% sure Rom didn't draw cards there. Maybe after that roll he was just so tilted. Or maybe, I'm sure they'll notice at some point, because that's... I'm glad I'm not the only one that forgets to do that. So yeah, as predicted, rolls a hybrid, gets more efficient usage of the dice to take. Oh my god, but because you haven't rolled a goddamn muster, this means that Mount Gundabad can't be mustered. What the hell? This is insane. Oh my god, that is so ridiculous. Yeah, no wonder Romp hasn't taken his cards, because he's just probably tilting his head off, because this is such an absurd situation. Like, what the hell? You've got like 3 turns out of 5 turns where you haven't rolled a muster or a hybrid. I mean, like, that's like a third of the die on all of these dice, and you don't roll a single one. Oh my god. Yeah, how many hybrids has Romp rolled? None. No hybrids all game. Jesus Christ. So what's presumably going to happen is Romp's going to have to use all of these dice, taking these douchebags from Karok back to take out that, which feels like the worst thing ever. It just feels so slow. You've got these guys here purposefully to reinforce Woodland Realm, and then you've got to send them back to Mount Gundabad and then like do a bunch of, attacks into like 2 HP, and then you're probably going to make that efficient without any elites. You probably got to move leadership over. Oh my god, this is so bad and unfortunate. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, dude, can you imagine if I hadn't got those 2 musts on turn 3? Wouldn't be a game at all. Yeah, so given how everything else has gone, yeah, it could have just been a bit of like a wipeout game. Yeah, all these orcs standing in the border not knowing what else to do. Okay, so yeah, so Rump does thankfully realize he didn't draw cards. That's good. Okay, so Monsters Roused, Nazgul Search. Nazgul Search / Black Breath is thrown away. And okay, so what's going on here then? Is the whole army going? The whole army's going because that's probably more efficient than sending just 5 dudes and also sending the leadership with the character die. This is the safer way. It sucks, but everything sucks. So okay, what am I talking about? Actually, yeah, you could ignore this one, and you can actually just take back Dol Guldur. And that means that you don't have to do... Okay, that means you can still have a grouped up army. It's not quite as far as... Is it as far? 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2... I feel like this is slightly more efficient. And still leave a... But you can still leave a reasonable sized army here. Okay. To cover Woodland Realm, which is important. But yeah, Gundabad has been taken. On these douchebags are going for Morannon. Oh... forcing him to make a covering. Oh my god! Or just gives Romp something else to think about. This is a good play by Columbo. This is a good play, just because obviously Columbo knows this isn't going to hold, so he's just being as troublesome, like the tricksy character he is. I would expect nothing less from Columbo. So Romp plays Candles of Corpses, just trying to hurt the Fellowship as much as possible. Only gets 1. That's annoying. Gets up to 5. Dol Guldur is put under siege. Then Riders of Theoden is played. So we get a nice muster in Edoras. Draws into Celeborn, which is good. Not super good this game, but yeah, it could be a good daylight. Maybe this army just goes here instead. I don't know. And you try and just use these boys to go and take Woodland Realm and just give up on Erebor. Something like that could be a play potentially, because you've already got this force here. These guys aren't doing anything. Romp would need to actually roll some musters though for that to be a remotely viable plan, and there's no guarantee that Romp will ever roll musters again in his life, so we don't know. Fellowship's not going to many places though, so they have just on turn 5 have just hidden in Rosgobel. Dol Guldur is attacked. Surely they go down. What do we play? Lots of options here. And what do the 3 people play? Yeah, I mean, you've got a full stacked hand here. Could just throw a daylight in there and give yourself a chance. Okay, we got an onslaught though. Perfect. Yeah, very good. This is not surviving. Yeah, might have even been tempted to keep the daylight. There's quite good cards here. Yeah. You want to keep dead men for dead menning. Cycles into Day Without Dawn. And back to 2 victory points. Fellowship moves, and they are not hit. Then with the final move, the Nazgul train is continued, and leadership heads down south to Osgiliath to with the purpose of putting Minas Tirith under siege. And with that, we end turn 5 and move on to turn 6. Tom Bombadil and Elven Rope are drawn, and lidless iron musterings of a long-planned war. Fellowship reveals into Ulfroy's Road. So yeah, looking like at the moment, certainly looking like corruption is probably the most likely victory for the especially with Círdan's in hand to cover Dol Amroth. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot of dice to take down Gondor. This has slowed down the forces of evil significantly. So yeah, if the 3 people can actually get moving and not get killed by corruption, then yeah, they have the edge here. So yeah, moving quickly. They hit again on a single die. So that's the one area where I think Rompsteel has had quite a bit of luck. Those single die hits are pretty huge. And it's an eye as well, so really, really slowing down the Fellowship, making sure they're not getting much good value at all for these character dice. And in a game where you don't have Strider, these character dice are so much more precious. So having to use them all to hide is really, really, really slowing down the Fellowship. So yeah, that's adds another layer of importance to these hits, because it's effectively every time you hit on a single die, or on 2 dice, I suppose, with the rerolls, but still, you're using up 2 movement dice of the Fellowship, so really, really slowing them down. Okay, so decides to not go towards Lorien. I suppose bearing in mind, Kellerborns is still out there. Power Too Great is still out there. Both of them are in the hand of the... okay, no, Power Too Great has been played or discarded or something. Maybe discarded, just a bit like Day Without Dawn, to kind of leave it lingering. I can't, or maybe it was played in battle, I can't remember. But either way, that's not there anymore. But still, there's 2 cards that could really screw up any attack on these strongholds. There's none on Woodland Realm. The Fellowship moves again. Oh no, they don't. They're flipped even. Sauron regulars are moved from Eastern Mirkwood to Northern Ravanian. So yeah, maximizing extra rerolls, doing the double move. So yeah, the classic move of single orc onto Northern Ravanian. Meanwhile, Pelargir is attacked. Romp is cycling cards. So yeah, cycling Words of Power. Gets no hits. No hits back. Presses. This guy skulks away to Lamadon. And Cruel Weather is drawn. Very opportune draw. Musters once in Dol Amroth. I think that's correct, of course. Okay, so yeah, if Ron plays this carefully, you can take down Dol Amroth without putting the elves to war, which would completely mitigate Círdan's ships. And with the Witch King here, I imagine that's what Romp is going to aim to do. The Free People could use the Will to get an extra muster in here, which would mean that this army can certainly not guarantee taking this down. But there's a lot of reinforcements, again, with the huge if of will a muster ever be rolled again. And maybe you prioritize getting Saruman anyway. But anyway, all things to consider. Shadows Moving is played as a swarm of bats against Mr. Lamadon. He dies. He gets no hits back. Yeah, so I feel like Free People, Free People aren't getting any hits either in these little combats. They're not really doing anything, at least. Cycles into another swarm of bats, / Return of the King, which can actually be played this game. Does use the Will to muster. So not moving twice against single eye is slow. But it could slow down the Shadow even more by playing this as a... And you can move again with this character die. So yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine. Dol Amroth is put under siege. And then we attack Dol Amroth. What are we going to go with? So many options here. Probably doesn't lead with the Corsairs. I imagine the Deadly Strife. So many options. Let's see what Rump goes for. Swarm of bats against Daylight. Nice. Very nice. Rolling Hot. Yeah, that's very good. Very good rolling. 3 hits. And very poor rolling from Columbo. So this is looking eminently takeable now. So you're going to press before, Free People draw into Imrahil or something like that. Draws into Shadows of the Misty Mountains. That could be useful. And then just goes for the Deadly Strife. Rather appropriate using the Corsairs Deadly Strife in Dol Amroth. And rolls 4 hits. Columbo does get some hits back, but they are basically moot. And the Fellowship moves with the final die of the turn. They do not get hit. That's about time. And some final army moves to set up armies in Osgiliath and cover Woodland Realm. So yeah, that was really nice. Making sure you can get a cheap-ish stronghold before Círdan's ships was played at any point in this game. I think this becomes a huge headache for Romp. So that was really important. There's Another Way and becomes Arbor drawn. And Orc Patrol and Stormcrow. Yeah, so getting some nice cards to throw at the Fellowship here. Fellowship's still relatively healthy, considering how slow they've moved. But really going to need to get good value for Gandalf. They haven't drawn a 3-tile yet. So, yeah, going to be looking for one of these to kill Gandalf, get good value for Gandalf. That's really important for the free people, I think. Kid on Ships is sadly thrown away. Feels bad, man. And the Fellowship rightly declares in South Ravanian. 2 musters. Ah, hallelujah. And a bunch of eyes in the hunt. So could be a painful few moves for the Fellowship. In theory, they could get into Mordor this turn, although I don't think they will push it, or they'll manage it. But we'll see. They move, as is correct to do. They are not hit. This Orky boy diligently chases the hobbits. Meanwhile, the South Rons start gearing up to support the attack on the Dew line. Fellowship moves again. They are hit. Really important you get a reveal here. It's not a reveal. This is perfect for the free people. You can get maximum value for Gandalf and you can get into Mordor. No, you can't because Romp is going to play... Oh, no. Romp hasn't got the... Okay, so this is an interesting one. If you go for Mordor this turn, you use a ring to get into Mordor. If you're not revealed, that ring is then used to play Cruel Weather against you. But if you are revealed, you get 2 tiles, which does quite a lot of damage to the Fellowship in a game where corruption is an issue. But if you don't get into Mordor this turn, you might move into Mordor next turn, and then you have to move twice because of the threat of Cruel Weather, unless you're moved in, you get into Moran on the first move. And then if you don't move twice, then you can get Cruel Weather next turn and then prolong the game by 2 turns. So there's loads of shit going on. So let's see what happens here. Isengard goes to war. So yeah, prioritizing. These guys come into play a bit later, but you got to get that extra die. You got to get that extra die. File is put into the pool. The Saruman comes into play on turn 7. That's a very late Saruman in a game where there's been no Gandalf denial. The Book of Mizabal is played. Ah, yes, very nice, very nice, very nice. I forgot about this hobbit. That cheeky little hobbit lying in wait in Tower Hills to sneak into Ered Luin and alert the dwarves. Wow. And this is quite impactful as well because you're going to have a lot of time to muster. A lot of time to muster. Southrons are nowhere near war. You could get a serious army here. You could get it into Dale, depending on how well things go in Woodland Realm. This creates a huge headache for Romp. I think Romp is probably now pressured into leaving Woodland Realm and putting Erebor under siege. So this doesn't get out of hand, but has to leave a big enough army behind to cover. So Woodland Realm might just be left covered again. So this is a very, very awkward. Aragorn bops over to Western Met. Interesting to go to Western Met. 1, 2. Not to fold, because the only thing about Western Met is if you move an army into it, it can make him a target. But maybe you want to move an army into him. Who knows? Yeah, so as predicted, Romp is going to try and cover Erebor, and is happy to let... Okay, so leaving the one little orc behind, if these guys sortie, is not the end of the world. Although, could be a thing. Could make Woodland Realm a headache, actually. But it's going to be expensive for the free people. They're going to have to use an attack, and then they're going to have to use musters, which they will going to be prioritizing using it potentially elsewhere. Anyway. But yeah, want to get the Southrons to war ASAP. So yeah, managed to get 1 muster in Erebor, which is really nice. Puts covers Erebor. So yeah, you can tell Romp is obviously super experienced, good player, because I think a less experienced player might just not quite realize the danger of the dwarves being at war and just focus. I'm on Woodland Realm. I must finish Woodland Realm. But these guys, you can create a house of cards. It could be like a topple, like a house of cards. If they start mustering and then they take Dale, then they open up the Northern Force pool, and then you've just lost. It's out of control, and you've lost the Dew line, and you've lost the game. So yeah. Or certainly it just becomes a pure corruption game, and you lose the military threat. Guards is drawn, very nice draw. Horn of Gondor is not. You lost Bozza earlier, so that's a bit frustrating. So yeah, so that's interesting. So yeah, so I think this is kind of probably correct from Columbo. I think again, like another move. I think some players would have gone for Mordor. If you go into Mordor here, let's say you move into Mordor with the ring at the end of last turn, regardless of the cruel weather thing. Let's say you get revealed. There's some big tiles in here, which do a lot of damage. You could end up basically, quite likely, you end up in Mordor on like net, I don't know, like net 4 or 5. You've got Bilbo's Song. You've got There Is Another Way. So maybe that's not too bad. Maybe for the sake of, you're playing against a very, very good Shadow player who will, be efficient with what limited resources he has. So maybe it's quite risky from Columbo to not go in there. But if you do go in, you're relying on a pretty above average luck in Mordor. Whereas now you can probably get away with it makes corruption less of an immediate threat doing what Columbo is doing by giving himself an extra turn. However, the cruel weather dynamic could be interesting here. Right. So, well, law of averages. Like London buses, they all come along at once. Romp rolls a million of these. And oh my god, so annoying. Can't play cruel weather because you haven't... Oh, these dice are just cruel, man. This is absurd. Fellowship moves. They are hit, though. But it's a 1, so the cruel weather would have had value. And now the free people have no reason to use rings, or cruel weather is just like, ugh. And the free people will know that even if you have cruel weather, you can't use. So they're not even. You don't even have that forcing the free people to play around cruel weather by using a ring. So just extra annoying stuff. Not a paladin. You don't get a paladin or a character on the 1 turn you really want it. Southrons at war at least, or about to be at war. Now they're at war. Dwarven regular in Iron Hills, classic move. Also regular in... What was that one? Reinforcements debris. Okay, sure. Why not? Attacking Iron Hills from the Southrons. Do we now have the scouts? Still no scouts. Have we even drawn any scouts this game? No card, no card. Gets the hit. Nothing back. Oh, yes. Oh, so sorry. We're attacking from East Rune into the Dwarf. Yep. I thought it was the other way. Not used to the Southrons being at war. Minas Tirith put under siege. One dude eats it. Armies join up. Well, army moves to West Horondor. And this guy, this sneaky guy, where's he going? Is he? Oh, no. He's going to open the Force Pool. Oh, my God. Oh, just the kind of thing you just not like. How often does that happen? Like the Northern elite from North Downs takes Mount Gundabad unopposed because of a freakish, like the orcs just forgot that no one alerted them to the fact that there was like a little northern garrison coming, and they were allowed to just walk in the back door. And then they come through, and they're going to go to Carrick, and they're going to open up the Northern Force Pool. Oh boy! Oh boy! Mustering in Dol Guldur takes place, so I guess Romp's got some kind of plan for this army, don't know what. And gets nice. So yeah, Carrick is opened up, and Helm's Deep is bolstered. So oh god, good play by Columbo, man. Columbo's played this very well. Extra elite musterage in Dol Guldur, so. I can't remember if Romp knows that that Power to Great is not... Can we see in the discarded cards whether Power to Great... Free people's cards. Okay, so you don't know a Power to Great hasn't been played. Oh, you do? Oh, not shown, though. Not shown. Okay, as I predicted, yeah. Okay. But still, the elves aren't at war. You can get a decent army. Lorien's a very viable target. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Or you even send this army up to here to deal with this. Maybe that's it. Maybe Romp's actually thinking about taking this up here to deal with the threat of Carrick and take Willemrel. Anyway, Elven Rope goes in the pool. More mustering and Dolgador. And we go on to turn number 9. Another blue tile is drawn. Elven Cloaks. And Dane Ironfoot's Guard. Boy, oh boy, what an excellent card to draw at this point in this moment in time. Do you play it, or do you probably just play it to get the extra leader in there, I think. And there's a small chance that this gets taken down in 1. You know, you see that happen, so I would just play it. Horn of Gondor is killed, and the Fellowship are get into Mordor. That was very lucky. That turn of events to get into Mordor that smoothly. Right. So mixed roll for Rompsteel, and also a mixed roll for the free people ish. Fellowship move. Yep, you want to do that before any nasty tiles can go in the pool. 0 reveal. Slow but good. More mustering. We get the mouth in Dol Guldur. Okay, my football team is about to start playing a game. I'm going to pause this bad boy and come back to you later. Hopefully, we have won. Okay, well, it turns out the game has been delayed by 35 minutes due to chaos at the stadium, so that's probably about how long it's going to take me to finish this recording, which is great. All right, where were we? So, that was the mouth coming into play. Shelob's Lair is put into the pool. Yes, yes, yes. Very good, very good. Let's have a look at the pool itself. So 2 nice juicy red tiles, 2 resplendent blue tiles, and quite a few big tiles in there. Only a couple of, like, you know, non-blue small tiles. So yeah, I think this pool is better for the shadow than it is for the free people, certainly. Unless the free people get very lucky. So they hide. I don't think we're going to get another move this turn. No, we will not. It's just Bane is played. Okay, so really hoping for that Shelob. It's an eye. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, 11 out of 15 for something good. Yeah, Romp is not getting the rub of the green in many respects in this game. But yeah, that could have been that might have just decided the game, to be honest. If Romp just gets like a 3 there and you're up to 10, it's what's maybe not decides the game exactly with Bilbo Song in hand, but boy, that would have really changed the dynamic of Mordor completely. Mustering in Carrick. Shudders. Okay. Nice Shadows Gather play up to Woodland Realm. More mustering in Carrick. Leadership heads to Erebor and primarily to Erebor actually. Then the Woodland Realm armies, the Carrick army starts heading across to towards Dale, presumably, trying to open up that spot, get that kind of strategic foothold. What do you do as Romp here? Tricky one. Because if you attack into this, then they can scout now to the forest, and then they can put Dol Guldur under siege, and then again open up the threat of like a military victory. They don't have scouts, but you don't know that. So yeah, attacking into this army is very dangerous. They could also just scout to like Northern Rebellion anyway, and then still get Dale. So you're not actually achieving anything by attacking it, unless you have a swarm of bats, which Romp doesn't. I think he might have used both of the swarm of bats by now, and I think the free people probably know that. So instead blocks this attack and covers Dale. That's a nice play. Yeah, that does the 2 things you need to do. Yeah, really good. And Mithril Cone Sting is drawn. What a draw. What a draw. And the Spirit of Mordor / Scouts. Yeah, good useful cards for the free people there. Meanwhile, Ring Racer Abroad and Pits of Mordor for Rompsteel. 1 eye added to the hunt, so 2 eyes in the box. Lots of attacks, reasonable amount of attacks this turn. Lots of movement for the free people. Do you want to use them all in Mordor? That's the question. Okay, nice. Plays Mithril Cone Sting first. There is an outside chance of it being killed with Warmer Saw and Toil, but I think you just don't worry about that just yet. Yeah, it hasn't been played yet. So you'd be too cautious to not play this first. Erebor's attacked. Some decent desperate battles. Meanwhile, we have heroic. You're not going to play that heroic death. Sorry, you'd probably. I'm not sure there's really a card you can or want to play here. You want to save Dane. You want to save Dead Men. Probably just fight. Yeah. Yeah, Desperate Battle. 2 hits. 3 hits back. Decent. Press. Cycles into a We Come to Kill / Hill Trolls. Handy. Goes for the Desperate Battle again. Not brilliant, but still gets 3. And then 3 back. So getting the job done, but the problem is now he's going to play Dane Over's Guard. Yep. All the cards. Reinforces from Dale, and also moves reinforcements towards Minas Tirith. So let's have a quick check of the victory point situation here. So presuming, well, I was going to say presuming Erebor falls. It doesn't, now we've got 5 HP against, go away, work or school account, problem. 5 HP against 8 HP. In a typical, situation, that's not enough for Shadow, but unless they have really strong cards, a Deadly Strife could take this down. Romp doesn't have a Deadly Strife, so we'd need an above average Desperate Battle. It's possible, but it's, there's many situations where 3 people with good cards can survive this. He does, however, know that the 3 has no strategy cards, so that does significantly improve the Shadow's chances of winning this fight, but still a tricky one. So that would be 2, take up to 6, Minas Tirith take you up to 8, and then Woodland Realm take you up to 10. But then you've got to hold Dale. So this is hanging in the balance. Here. Romp has a very clear route to victory, but it's kind of contingent on these combats going well, this not taking Dale and, creating huge... this combat here could be key if this goes for Dale. Yeah, there's a few crucial battles. And also, obviously, how well the Fellowship does when they move in Mordor. Shelob's Lair. If only the Mithril hadn't been put in, that could have been huge. But obviously Mithril will be played. And it's a 2, which is fine. Which is just fine and dandy for the 3 people. Hill Trolls played in Erebor. Juicy, of course. Yeah, Hill Trolls, great. Naturally, that is used in Erebor. Erebor is attacked. Probably going to have another Desperate Battle here. Still no cards for the 3 people. Yep. And only the 1 hit, though. Only the 1 hit. That is very awkward. Luckily for Romp, only 2 back. Or say luckily, not that lucky, but above average or under average hits for Columbo. So you take it. Presses. Got to get this thing done at this point. No, you can't dilly-dally. Got to just finish this bad boy. Is it winnable this turn? With the current dice. You need to win this combat and then win this combat in one go. With another attack, and then move leadership down, and then finish it with Ring Racer Abroad. That's how it is winnable. The game is winnable this turn. And I've watched enough Rompsteel's channel to know that he is always any good Shadow player should this, but he's very, very good at knowing what he needs to finish off a game in a turn and to set everything up to do that. Hence, there is just enough leadership here to give give you a very strong chance of taking this down without needing reinforcements. So you got this takeable, and then this army, you're gonna need extra luck here, but this can take this. It's going to depend a lot on the card cycling, I think. But yeah, in theory, the Shadow can win it this turn. So pressing still. And then Romp just rolls 3. Just rolls 3. After all that, you're getting absolute F all from the Desperate Battles. And then you just, what's the phrase? Raw dog it. Excuse me. And then you just roll 3 6s. 2 back from Columbo. But yeah, it looks like this should be enough now. Needs to get 1 more 6. Uses the Orc Patrol to just guarantee it gets done, and it is done. Yeah, you need to take... If you don't take that this round, it's basically potentially GG. So, okay, step 1 is complete. Passes. Now we flip the mouth. Oh, yeah, because we've got that extra attack. Oh, no, extra reinforcements. Okay, interesting. That could leave a bit of a gamble here, but significantly increases the size of this army. Place ring race, yep. Lots of leadership coming down here. Oh, okay. So then you can have 2 potential attacks on this, or if you need to, attack back into Dale to take that from this Old Forest Road army, if required. So yeah, and this also significantly improves the chance of taking Woodland Realm down in one go, which would save you dice and, yeah. Okay, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Woodland Relentless Assault is played. 3 hits. 2 hits back. 3 people naturally still don't have any cards to play. Cycles into Devilry of Orthanc. Not good. That's really bad because Romp can't cycle that anywhere. And card cycling is really important for getting this over the line in Minas Tirith when you presumably move. I mean, maybe you don't move the Witch King down. Maybe you try and do it without the Witch King, but could potentially be pivotal. No hits, presses, no card. Oh, this is bad. This is going horribly at the moment. But still no hits back. Should probably still get over the line. 1-6. Oh, 2 hits back. Oh my god. Press no card. 3 against 1. 1-6 on 6 dice. Oh my god. Shit the bed. And he gets a 6 back. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's have a quick take stock. Let's take stock of what just happened there. So that was 1-6 and 9. And then the 10 before that. So 1-6 and 19. 1-6 and 29. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's not pretty. 1-6 and 29. Stats we can't see. 6s are low in this game. Unsurprising. Feels that way. Oh boy. Lucky. Yeah. I mean, that wasn't even the one that you were worried about. Like, if I'm in Romp's shoes, I'm worried about this one. I'm thinking this one is a doozy. This one you had like a mega army. But yeah, I mean, I suppose if you're being really, really finicky, you could say maybe gamble it in Erebor and you use the Orc Patrol here, but like just because it allows you to cycle, and then if you maybe the Orc Patrol cycles into like a viable card. But I think Romp had the Relentless Assault, so you'd rather cycle a strategy card anyway, so that doesn't even really add up, regardless. So yeah, just incredibly unlucky. So they reload. Goes for it again. Takes it down. Oh, no, sorry. What am I talking about? So there it's... I'm getting ahead of myself. So Woodland Realm from Off-Ross Road. No card. This is... Yeah, I'm getting... So 1 hit. Romp does 1 hit back. He presses. So you're going to have to... Oh, the elves aren't at war. So that's not even possible. Oh, so they are at war. They're just not... Okay, of course they're at war, but they haven't been put fully to war. Wait. No, the elves still aren't at war. But it's a northern army that's attacking, so that's irrelevant. But still, just crazy stuff. So yeah, so the Witch King retreats to Dale. The Fellowship is just moving. They draw Shadow's Lair again. Spider is just not giving up. There's no mithril coat to protect the hobbits this time. It's just Gimli versus a spider. Bro. And it's a 1! Oh my god, this game is insane. This is so stupid. Oh, man. Yeah, man. I mean, what would have happened there? So if you'd rolled a 6, you have to eat 3 from the hobbit and the dwarves, then it'd be 1. So wouldn't have like outright won the game or anything like that, but you could have got up to like 10 victory points. You get 1, even like a 3 would have really changed the dynamic. Now the free people are still on like net 5 corruption. They got to make 3 moves, but you can like net 5 corruption should be fine unless they hit another red. That's just this game. But that does buy Romp time, though. That does buy Romp time. The problem now is that you've lost a very... This was the place to win the... This shouldn't have really been an issue, but now it's become an issue. So even if you take Minas Tirith, how do you get the other 2 victory points now? And then when the free people have the dice, dead men can come into play at any point, I guess, although there's this Osgiliath army. Anyway, I digress. So Minas Tirith is just, again, raw dogging it, gets 2 hits, 3 hits back. Yeah, now I can roll 6s, lol. Just pressing, just going for it. Okay, no, jinxed it there. No more 6s. 2 hits back. So yeah, looking pretty bad at Minas Tirith, although you've got a massive wedge of reinforcements in Osgiliath to help out. Turn 11, there and back again, and the red arrow. Free people have got Bilbo Song up their sleeve. So yeah, having said that, all that stuff about corruption, free people would have just gone slower, used Bilbo Song, but it would have bought Romp a huge chunk of time because the free people would have had to go really cautiously. Now with Bilbo Song in hand, they can be a bit more gung ho if they need to get over the line in a flash. Nazgul Search useless, and Threats and Promises, Devilry of all thing also completely useless. Just 2 completely, utterly useless cards. Can't even cycle the Devilry of Orthanc. And yeah. Gandalf! Oh, you can finally get Gandalf. Oh my god! Yeah, we're on turn 11 and we still haven't had Gandalf. I completely just forgot about him. A Gandalf is never late. A Gandalf is never late. Gandalf is very late. So, another elite pops up in North Rune. Elven Cloak. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can see why Romp didn't want to make this video. This would be a horrible game to reap. It'd be like submitting yourself to torture. Just an incredibly frustrating experience to put yourself through again. Like, yeah, I completely get it now. Elven Cloaks goes into the pool. Well, I suppose unless he wins, then maybe it would be quite satisfying. Another elite. I don't get the feeling he will, though, based on how this has gone. An Eye. Okay. Hobbit and Gimli Edict. I don't. In terms of cards to throw at the Fellowship, the Orc Patrol's gone. Isildur has been played. Lord of the Ring has been played. Candles has been played. I'm not sure there's much left. Morgul Wound's been played. There's not many. There aren't many, if any. I think Foul Thing's been played. That's still out there. Maybe 1 or 2 others I can't think of off the top of my head. But a lot have been played. More reinforcements. The Oliphant's factory is fully operational. Columbus says, I see Shadow Lengthens here. I see Shadow Lengthens in your near future. No, alas, no. Elves are now at war. Going for the full Oliphant. Max Oliphantage. And Elven Elite goes to Woodland Realm. I think you probably you wouldn't just muster this. I don't think there's any point in attacking trying to kill some leaders. It's just too expensive and unlikely to actually work. Plays Denethor's Folly. Good usage of Denethor's Folly. Yep, nice. Kills that leader. Armies join up in Minas Tirith and in the Vale of the Carnan. Can't forget the. They join up in Dale, and other armies head from to West Rondor, perhaps predicting the potential for a a dead men. No Shadow Lengthens. So with the Shadow Lengthens, that would have made the win possible. Maybe. I think Columbo's probably being a little bit too concerned there. I think I think as a free player, you're always very worried and you're kind of thinking in the worst possible terms, but you have to be very, very unlucky to lose that turn, even with the Shadow Lengthens, I think. Grond, and there we go. There's a Shadow Lengthens, just when you need it. Just is that so typical of like Romp's luck this game. There and back again is killed. Free people get another blue tile through Den of Night. Is there any viable usage for this in this game? Probably not, but maybe something with Aragorn. I don't see it happening. So free people just need to roll some movement here. They do not roll any movement. And they do not. They roll this. Is it game on? Has the pendulum finally swung? Ironically, now the free people actually have 6 dice. They finally got 6 dice, and then they roll 0 movement for the first time in the entire game. What a silly game. Woodland Realm is mustered even more. Woodland Realm's put under siege. Very heavily stocked Woodland Realm, 9 HP. Romp does now have some useful cards. I mean, okay, so Shadow Lengthens is not going to be useful as a card effect, but Mumakill's very good for this situation. You're really hoping to draw into like Half Orcs of Goblin if that hasn't been played, just so you can actually get use out of Devilry of Orthanc and cycle that. But yeah, and Grond, this is a very awkward fight to play Grond in as well, because this is the kind of fight where Grond can go wrong. So maybe you play it for the Dread and Despair, but you might need it down here to try and win. To win this turn. So maybe just cycle the Mumakill, see where it takes you. Ghost Woodland Realm, yeah. Romp is cycling. Okay, so using the Dread and Despair to try and protect it. Okay, that also makes a lot of sense. When the size of this army is so big, you kind of need to protect yourself. So I do think there is logic in that, and there's quite a lot of dice here to potentially take down Minas Tirith as well. So yeah. Oh no, take it back. So it's trying to cycle for cards to attack the Fellowship. I thought they'd be playing the Dread and Despair. Okay, so I was probably right the first time, saving the Grond for Minas Tirith. Gets 2 6s. Trebien. And then Columbo gets 2 hits back because of the confusion. No press. Cycles into Foul Thing. Okay, yes, that is the one. So that is potentially hurtful for the free people. But I hate Carrick so much. Characters, you got good value out of Carrick. You know, that guy who marched across here is like a legend in Middle Earth right now. Yeah, that was a hell of a North trip. Yeah, epic journey. Grond is now played. Yeah, no time to mess around. Might be crazy. Yeah, so this is risky. It's a risky play, but Romp's probably thinking like next turn, 3 people can win. Needs to just go for it. Just wants to try and win it this turn while you've actually got a window of opportunity. Let's see how this goes. Gets 2 hits. Really hoping the 3 people don't get 2. So you do not get an extra hit from the Moomies. But we have how many HPs? 9 HP against 5. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Cycles into a Deadly Strife. Okay. That is big. What else have you got in defense? I don't think you're using any of these cards. Maybe you use a Heroic Death if you're really desperate and you're about to lose. Okay, cycling the Foul Thing. Yeah, better value for that in combat at this point. 2 hits. 3 hits back. Eesh. Again, this is going to be really tight. Going for the Deadly Strife here, I think you have to. Yeah, you got to. It's just too risky to do anything else. 3 gets the 3. Woof. Game on. But the cupboard is bare. How? This is the thing. Like, I can totally see why Rom did that, but the downside is now look at this. I think he had no choice to do what he did in Woodland Realm, but the problem is still no rings have been played. Amazingly. And you can't draw any cards, and you've got no cards to play. And I just can't see this winning without cards being played. And meanwhile, this little swine with all these hybrids, he's going to come and try and take back Dale, I suspect. And also, this guy could make a run for Minas Morgul just to be extra annoying. Yeah, so 1 extra muster, I think that's right. And then you probably start moving after that. Maybe do the triple muster, not sure. So attacking using the Mouth's ability in Minas Tirith. So yeah, we just need 6s now. Just needs pure 6s. 1 6. That's not enough, especially when the 3 people roll 4 hits. Yep, this is very, very bad. Very, very bad for the Shadow. Had to go for it, but yeah, this is a problem. Big problem. Yeah, so as predicted, these guys are going for Minas Morgul. These guys are going for Dale. What do you do? What do you do? Yeah, splits this army to cover it. Could just go for a... just go for the kill, potentially. Takes Dale and goes to Dead Marshes. Where are these guys off to? Where are they going? Let's see. Dale is attacked from Romp. From the I mean, the good thing, they got lots of leadership. So even though this is 4 HP, it should fall relatively comfortably. Yep, 2 hits, 1 back, and then press, and then on 5s now. Oh, they skulk away to Withered Heath, sorry. Oh, yes, he would eat a corruption if he doesn't use a ring this turn. Okay, so this is an interesting situation because by giving Romp a ring, it means he can do an... Oh, no, he can attack anyway using this die. So it doesn't actually give Romp anything this turn, but in future could. So uses that to hide, and then Romp with the final thing is going to presumably go for Minas Tirith again, because he has to. And again, just you know, with a hope and a prayer. 2 6s, so down to 3 HP. 3 hits back. You'd imagine goes to the press, needs 3 6s on 10 dice. This could be it. This could be it. 1. 2 6s on 4 dice. Very unlikely. No. And 2 hits back. So, boy, oh boy. Got it close. Got it very close. Jesus. Man, given the incredible luck the Romps had against him, to get it this close is kind of amazing. I mean, I suppose the Free People did have that, like, you know, apocalyptic roll themselves in turn 12. But yeah, to get it this close is mad. Coming down to 2 HP in the end. But hey, you know, maybe they don't roll any movement again, and then the Shadow probably do win. Half Orcs, that means Devil of Orthanc could be actually useful. Lots, well, not that many attacks actually. 5 attacks plus a ring, so 6 attacks plus, okay, 7 attacks when you take into account the mouth ability. But crucially, a metric ton of movement for the Free People when they are holding Bilbo's Song, and there is another way. I can't see the Free People with one eye. Surely the Free People are going to win now unless they hit some, you know, I just don't see how it's, yeah. It'd have to be, even if you hit the 3, you can probably still, actually no, if you hit the 3, you're screwed. That's true, yeah. Okay, so yeah, there are quite a few combinations where, well, the 3, then Bilbo's Song, but then you'd have to hit like another 3 or something. I don't know. It's rough. Yeah, there's another way. Great. That's the one you want to play. Draws Elven Cloaks. GG. GG. Cycles cards. Here we go. It's been a great game, but it's going to end now. Oh, no, it's not! I spoke too goddamn soon. I mean, it is. It is. I said it a second ago. Because I believe once you play the Bilbos, an eye still doesn't kill. So I think it's by default GG unless Romp can cycle into, he hasn't got, and he'd have to use he's gonna have to use a ring to cycle character cards and hope that he gets something that can do like 1 damage to the Free People. Oh wait, no, he can use a ring to put an eye into here. That's what he's gonna have to do, I think. But attacks Withered Heath first. Cycling cards. Oh, yes, you cycle cards. That's even better. Yeah. Great. Cycles into the ring is mine! Ill boy. So, Bilbo's. Yeah, Bilbo's. Nice. Then plays the ring is mine. Yep. I suppose, yeah, even... Oh, sorry, my talk about putting an extra eye in there, it would still... an eye still only takes to 11, so even that doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work. And Smeagol goes into the pool. Actually, no. He'll just move. Columbo don't mess around. And he draws a 1. And it is over. GG's all round. Holy mackerel. What a game. What a stupid, silly, fun, entertaining game of War of the Ring. Well played by both players. Genuinely, I think both players played this one very, very well in their respective manners. Given, I mean, it was quite an absurd situation, but yeah, excellent, opportunistic taking advantage of Romp's terrible dice. You know, some players might not have got quite as much value out of, you know, the Carrack take back, the Mount Gun, the going for all the things that Columbo went for, etc. And then for Romp to almost win it in spite of all of that, yeah, excellent play. We'll have a quick look at the stats, see how absurd they were. So by the end, Romp was actually up on musters. Brilliant. Down 5 on hybrids, though. Yeah, the fact that you're on like 0 hybrids until like turn, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something stupid like that. Very high on armies, low on everything else. Low on Palantirs, the 3 people, that's fine. Very high on characters. Low on wills, hence the very, very late Gandalf. Yeah, so just quite lopsided dice in general, and this doesn't really paint the picture, the full picture. You know, these final stats really, you can, it's when the dice come as much as how many of each of them you have, isn't it? Well, thanks for sharing. Real pleasure to commentate on this one. Very fun. And hope you all enjoyed watching out there. Peace out, ciao, ciao. Love you. Bye-bye.